Hi, and welcome to Teletalk. I'm Liv.
And I'm Ben.
And on this episode, you'll hear our carefully considered and not at all random thoughts on a show we like. There will be spoilers.
This show is for entertainment purposes only, and we're giving ourselves an age rating of 15 and above. But you're welcome to make up your own minds. Listener discretion is advised. Amish!
Suddenly Amish.
Yes, all of a sudden, they're suddenly Amish.
They didn't call it this, but it's the finale.
Yes. It's actually Day of Reckoning.
And then the day after Reckoning.
Yes.
And a little bit the day before.
The Day of Reckoning and beyond!
Season 1, episode 8.
Yes. 8 is great.
Yeah.
And everyone's in a right state.
Well,
Mate.
we left this episode with no question that it was, in fact, the last one.
Yes, they very much concluded it. It was done.
Here we are all finished.
Spoiler alert, stuff occurred.
And some people left and some people stayed.
Spoilers!
I know, right?
Spoilers! I mean, we did warn you about spoilers earlier. If you're here and you're not wanting spoilers, it's your own fault. What are you doing here? Go away.
So do you want to go through person by person like we usually do?
Sure.
Okay, great. Can we start with Kendra and Matt, who left?
Person by person, let's start with 2.
Yeah, well, because they're not really in it.
In a scene so typically Liv. Yes, they left already.
Well, I suppose, wanted to say that after the reckoning ceremony, they're all sort of milling around, having a bit of food outside. And when I say they all, I mean the muggles and the teachers.
Alan and James.
Yeah, and the bishop comes up to them and says,
Right, okay.
I didn't want any drama, but I need to address this. And in front of everyone, calls James out and says that he was unfair. And
I don't want to cause any drama, but James, you suck.
yeah.
You suck bad.
Isn't there meant to be something like praise in public and punish in private?
Apparently not. It's punish in public, punish in private.
Yeah.
If it's James, just punish.
Just punish.
Even
That's the
Bishop
problem.
Vernon is like, I am done with your shit, James.
Yeah.
Well, because he was saying, like, you're meant to be tolerant and accepting, and you need to admit when you're wrong.
Yeah, that was a key one.
Yeah, that was a big one. And he's like, James is not, as they cut to James with that smug smirk on his face that he has when he's uncomfortable.
And it's not really ironic, but
All right,
I don't know the word. He is not being unshunned.
No.
Because of his behaviour, primarily around the Kendra and Matt situation and chasing them down at the hotel. And he still doesn't learn from it that it was a mistake.
No.
So even now, when he's been told the reason that he's not being unshunned, he still thinks he's in the right.
I can see why James is shunned.
Yeah.
Because whether he's Amish, Mennonite, whatever, guy's a bit of a dick. So he's just not a nice fella.
He likes the rules for other people.
Yes.
He doesn't like the rules for himself. And
Right.
that's a problem in any society.
Yeah, because it was like that contrast of like with Aaron, him going, I found your phone, welcome to the Amish, and he strides off with it. And the next minute he's like, Kendra, use my phone.
It's in my pocket right here.
It's right here. Ha ha ha. Will you kiss me?
P.S. Don't tell the others.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just like, yeah, James gets his comeuppance. His villain arc reaches the nice conclusion of him getting slammed by Bishop Vernon.
Yeah, in the
public.
nicest possible way.
With all due respect, James, I think you suck, and I will not be recommending you for unshunning. So James, in the blurb at the end, is looking for... I just remembered the scooter. He's looking for another community because the first one shunned him. This one won't unshun him, so he's now trying to find another community that he can haphazardly buffoon his way through.
Yeah.
And he gets an epic shot of them opening the big barn doors, and I'm like, ooh, grand. And then he scoots out on his little scooter, like, booto, 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 booto. It's like so undignified. I just enjoyed it for him.
I know. I was there when you laughed.
It was just like, yes, boom. Ew, 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 ew.
He's having a great time.
He did look like he was having a good time. They don't look like they would work on really bumpy roads, though, because they're so low slung. They're
I
only
know.
like a
They've got really
millimetre.
big wheels, though, so that would help.
It's just not dignified. It would have been more dignified if he'd have roller skated out.
They don't have skates.
Don't they?
Well, I haven't
Are they
seen
not
any.
allowed? No, that's true.
They might be too fancy. They only come in bright colours, so they're not allowed.
Oh, yeah. Can you... Yeah, 'cause there's no way you'd be able to find regulation black rollerblades
No.
or skates.
No. Turquoise and pink, that's the way. What?
That's the only way.
Yeah, it's
They are
best
the
colour
only
for skates.
acceptable.
Yeah.
And they would, ironically, wouldn't be acceptable to the Amish, but certainly not to James.
I know.
So, yeah, basically, you wanted to lead in with not one of the muggles. You wanted an excuse to talk about how James got
I
absolutely
did, yeah.
slammed.
Yeah.
Because it was interesting, because, like, at the ceremony, the reckoning, they had to get Alan and James' hand out. We couldn't possibly have Sarah interject in this ceremony because she's a woman, and it wouldn't be done, apparently.
Actually, you're being unfair there. We don't know what happened. There is that assumption, but she might also be really shy and have pre-spoken to everyone and go, I have given my opinion to my husband to voice.
I just went by, because mainly I led from when James and Alan said, we'll be talking at the ceremony. And I was like, someone's conspicuous by their absence, that's all.
Yeah, no, I do agree, but we don't know why.
No.
We can make assumptions, but we don't actually know.
That's true. I had a good reckon. Like a day of reckoning.
Similar to that.
James was actually surprisingly mellow, I thought, at that ceremony. I was expecting a bit more controversy.
I feel like when watching him, you could see that he was trying to be very careful with his words. You could see there was more stuff that he wanted to say that he did not say and was probably proud of himself for not saying.
Yeah.
And then it didn't matter anyway.
Yeah, it is interesting because you can see that he's from a much more strict community than the one that he's trying to be unshunned from. I didn't know you could sort of community shop in that way.
Yeah.
Will you have him? No, we don't want him. Will you have him? No, we don't want him. That kind of thing.
I don't know. Maybe it's just like people moving areas.
Did you feel like the speeches and this whole reckoning ceremony was pretty butchered from an editing perspective?
It did feel like a lot of them just got cut off mid-sentence.
Yeah, it didn't, like, normally, these things have to be really edited, right? Like, that's fine. But this felt like it was really obvious and quite clunky. I don't know, like, even the stuff that they've been edited together to say didn't even necessarily feel like it fit what they were supposed to be talking about. It just felt a bit weird.
Yeah, because Bishop Vernon asked them all a question, and then by the time they got to Judah couldn't remember what the question was, and so the bishop re-asked it. But I was like, that is a different question.
Yeah.
That is not the question
and then
that you said at the beginning.
Even answer it?
Well, this is the thing. It got a bit muddled up. But I did want to say that their church ceremonies, we know, are like all day.
Oh, yeah.
And when Judah gets up, he says, good evening. He's the last one. I'm thinking, have they been there for 8 hours?
Oh, was this just... was this a little bit they put on the end of their main normal 3-hour-long
No,
thing?
I'm thinking the reckoning might have been all day.
You reckon?
I reckon it might have been all day.
To be fair, that does sound like a reckoning.
Because you wouldn't... Otherwise, maybe they would have called it reckoning evening, not reckoning day.
It doesn't sound
They
as grand.
called it reckoning day.
Come on, everyone, come to our reckoning evening.
Yeah.
Our reckoning soiree.
An evening of light entertainment and fun, right?
Sandwiches.
Sandwiches.
To be fair, the lemonade and sandwiches look good. But yeah, it was a weird thing. And also, I was expecting... I know we're sort of like going into the ceremony as a whole, but bear with me. I was expecting, when they get down to the... Everyone nod if you think that they should come in. I thought they'd do that one by one. Like,
As in one
muggle by muggle.
mungle at a time. Yeah, mungle.
Muggle by muggle. The muggles went in one by one. Hurrah, hurrah.
Except they didn't. They did them all 4.
Yeah, and I was like, but what if you think one shouldn't?
Yeah.
Because, like...
Him, yes. Her, no.
So is the idea that if even one of them you're not sure about, you have to decline, and then what would they like come down to individual voting after that?
I mean, I did think at that point that the whole thing was a bit pointless. What was the point of talking about these muggles as individuals and how well or how they've struggled with settling into the Amish community if you're then going to group together and make a group decision?
It's almost like this was all a bit of a weird mishmash that didn't really work. I feel like if they're going to go with a future season of this, and I kind of hope that they do, I feel like they need to buff out some of the rough edges. Like don't bring a Matt. Don't do a Matt. I wish they bring James back, because he's that sort of fun level of complete chaos. But
I don't think it was fun for the people on his...
Yeah, but to be fair, if they're having fun, it's probably not fun for us, right? No?
I know this show is for entertainment.
Entertainment purposes only.
No, not our show.
No.
The Suddenly Amish show.
Oh, yeah.
But I still think the muggles are probably, and their mental health and their well-being is more important than our entertainment.
Well, yeah, I can acknowledge that in the real world, but when I'm watching the show, I'm like, I wanted a drama. You've got to have a James.
Well, I think James is long gone.
Yes, he's scooted off into the sunset.
He might be in Florida now.
Oh my God. He's looking for ever more increasingly chill communities.
Yeah.
Someone will eventually... Maybe that's what it'll be. The next one will just be like, where's James gone? Let's go see who he's alienating now. But yeah, it was a weird one where it just felt a bit strange. But they have to sort of... And I was expecting them to nod, because the first couple of people they showed were nodding, and then it was just a uniform dipping of the head to say yes.
Yeah.
All very strange. But yeah, they were like, yeah, I'd like to sort of stay. But at the same time, we'd had all the talking heads where they were like, I don't know if I'm going to stay. No one's sure.
They don't have to make a decision at the church, at the reckoning. They're asked... Well, this is the thing. Bishop Vernon asks them what brought them on this journey.
Yeah.
And then they don't answer that question. And then Judah says that he forgot the question. And then the new question is, what have you learned from this process and would you like to stay? And I think that's a totally different question.
So what you're saying is, he asks them a question, they don't answer. One of them forgets the question and then still doesn't really answer it. And they're all like, yep, let him in.
But see, this is the thing. Maybe there were several questions and they all had to stand up multiple times to answer them, and it took 8 hours.
Yes.
And then we got an edited version.
Kudos to Alan for bringing his dog. Sparky, is it?
Yeah.
Is it Sparky? Yeah, just sound as that is a well-behaved dog.
It's a really good dog.
It's a well-behaved... I aspire to have a dog that chill.
Our dog is pretty chill. He's just loud.
Well, yeah, to be fair, the Amish don't have remote control cars. Bruno, not so keen on the remote control cars. Or too keen. I can't decide which. But also, like, Bishop Vernon was not being subtle about where he was trying to hint for his community to go, because he was like, will we show the openness and compassion and kindness to allow these people to stay? I entreat you to think with compassion and open-mindedness, to maybe think about letting them in. I'm like, subtle, my friend, subtle.
Well, he also knows that the decision is not the church's. It belongs to the individual.
But it could be the churches if they say, no, we don't want any of these riffraff.
Yes, but then they don't get any of them.
Well, and I suppose from the community's perspective, it was probably a foregone conclusion, because it's like, basically, like, do you want to stay and do our 2 to 3 year apprenticeship, then a 6-month further apprenticeship, to then eventually get baptised? It was like, man,
Because
I see why no one joins.
2 to 3 years of doing more what they've done, including learning Pennsylvania Dutch.
Yeah. Learn Pennsylvania Dutch, do a load of free labour, and prove out that you're still motivated, basically.
And at the end of 2 to 3 years, and you decide to stay, you then have a further 6 months.
Bible study!
And then you can be baptised.
If you agree with all of that... I would have said put that up front, because if you do all of the two and a bit years and then you go, oh wait, what? the religious stuff. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, but it's going to be woven in. Like, it's not
You'd
going to be a
hope.
surprise.
You'd really
after
hope.
3 years, is it? Because it's part of their doctrine. You can't avoid it for that long.
I hear what you're saying, Liv, but these are people that didn't understand that when you go to the Amish, you're not allowed your phones. So maybe they might not pick up on that.
I think they will. I think you're being silly.
I'm just
You're a
going.
silly Billy.
I'm going by the facts as the television show presented us, Liv.
No, you're inferring a lot.
Am I?
Yes.
Okay. So, who did that cover off? James. Right, we've covered off... Well,
No, we have. Oh, yeah, James.
But yeah, technically, we've covered off Matt and Kendra.
Yeah.
Apparently, Matt and Kendra are not together post-show. Who would have thought?
Matt is working in the library at his kid's school like he was before.
Yeah, that's
I did
new.
not remember
Yeah.
that he did that. And his children get less screen time now.
So worth it.
Totally worth it.
And he hasn't told them about the axe incident.
No, but he has told them about becoming Amish for a week.
Do you get the feeling that James might be the bogeyman that lives under their bed now?
Probably.
If you don't... It was a really horrible
I always
man.
thought the bogeyman lived in alleyways. I learnt about it while I was
that-
walking through alleyways.
That's a mugger.
No.
The bogeyman lives in alleyways.
Yeah.
Who told you that?
Well, like I was saying, I learnt about the bogeyman while I was walking to my friend's house after school, and it was getting kind of dark. And I think it was Mum that was talking about the bogeyman, and I don't know, there were just lots of little alleyways, and Mum was saying, like, you need to be careful around these because you don't know who could be there.
You know, just that right healthy level of fear for a young child. Don't go outside, that's where the bogeymen are.
I would have been between 5 and 7.
That was a long alleyway. It took you 2 years.
What are you chatting about?
You said you were between 5, so you were 6. Between
No,
5
I
and
might
7.
have been 5. I might have been 6.
Or
I might have been
7.
7. I suppose it's possible that I was 8.
You know, it might have been 25, I'm not sure.
No, I wasn't 8. It would have been 5, 6 or 7.
Really narrowing it down to a 3-year span. To be fair to you, you were traumatised because you were scared out of your mind about the bogeyman.
Well, I moved schools at, around that point, so then I didn't walk around the alleyways anymore.
To be fair, that is probably slightly less traumatising than having it be the bogeyman under your bed, because
Yeah.
you sleep in your bed every night.
Your bed's supposed to be a safe place.
Yeah.
The alleyways are, in fact, dangerous, so...
You don't tend to, unless you're having a very bad childhood, sleep in the alleyways.
No, indeed.
This has gone off on one.
This is your fault.
I think James is the bad man lurking in the alleyways going, "Brr, I've got an axe." Who are we talking about?
Kendra is...
Oh, yeah, she is like proper born again. She's
Yeah.
only taking dance jobs if they're not too revealing in the clothing.
For the church, mainly.
And yes, and for the church.
And
all
she's
of
had
that.
all her tattoos laser removed.
Solved, yes.
And yeah, she's thrown out most of her wardrobe. We had actual footage of her doing that.
Yeah.
And to be fair to her, she seems really happy and
Yeah,
peaceful.
it seems to be fair, from what they described pre-show to now, it seems like this has been an awakening journey, and she is free of Matt, which is the biggest result of all.
And Bishop Vernon did say, regardless of whether they stay or go, we hope this experience has taught them something. And it seems like Matt maybe not so much, although less technology, but Kendra, yeah, she's found some of herself.
Matt has managed to get the same level of wisdom going on this entire process as he could have done by looking at any parenting blog that says tablets are bad.
But maybe there's one thing reading it and another thing living it, even if that's for a week.
I will give him no credit.
Right.
I don't like him.
Okay.
And that's how they wrote it.
Who do you want to talk about next?
I would like to talk... Let's talk about Esme.
Okay.
Because I telegraphed fairly... or I clocked fairly early on. Like, when they did the whole unified single nod to let everyone join... she was the only one of the muggles that we saw that was not smiling. She looked anxious and stressed and freaking out. And I'm like, she wants to leave. And she was kind of hoping that they'd be rejected so she didn't have to do the leaving.
Maybe she wanted them to go one by one.
Yes.
And that she'd get a no.
The muggles went one by one, hurrah.
Okay.
Hurrah.
Oh dear.
The Amish said no, one by one, hurrah.
But they didn't.
No.
At least get your lyrics right.
Look, I'm doing this on the fly, all right?
But Esme goes through most of the episode
Yeah.
with a 50-50 kind of
Yeah.
thing.
And it was, again, after all of that, the next day, because they go, like, have another day to think about it. So we're like, the day after the reckoning. I'm like, we've been building up to the reckoning, and now we're just going beyond it.
But also, Bishop Vernon said, take your time to think about this.
Yeah.
And then the evening of the next day, it's like, decision time.
Yeah.
Oh, that is not time. I would have needed longer.
Take all the time you need until tomorrow.
Yes.
But then they have this weird thing where James and Alan go and surprise them with their trunks of stuff.
Their contraband.
And again, this felt weird. Like, it felt like this was set up almost like a reality TV show kind of thing. I know it is one, but like, it felt like there was rules set up where, like, you will go and look at your stuff, and if you touch your stuff, you must leave. And if you decide to go, you have to get up and go and leave without talking to anyone. But they didn't set any of that up. So when Esme steps up and looks at her stuff and goes, I'm just going to take my stuff and go, and then she strides off straight away from all these people that she's bonded with for ages. Not a word, not even looking anyone in the eye, just like, I need my shit.
So you think it was actually like a Love Island kind of really strict rules on behaviour? It
felt like it. But there wasn't anything set up that way, so it felt really fake.
Well, maybe she just went up to it and was like, oh, my stuff, okay, I'm gone.
But that's not how she reacted. That was the weird thing about it. It was like, oh yes, I'll take all of my things, I'm going to need them.
I mean, to be fair though, James did say, do you want to come and get your stuff and leave? He said that when he opened the trunk. Who's going to come up and get their stuff and go?
I suppose.
And she stood up, got her stuff, and went.
It just felt really weird. Not even, like, it felt artificial, but not in a sort of, like, coherent way. It just felt weird.
Because she got all her stuff and she's like, I just want to be with it. And I thought she meant so that she could make her decision. And then she's like, I'm going to need it, bye.
I'm just going to make a little nest and curl up in it. You can give me another day. But yeah, she just chips off and then takes all her hat off and, like, hair down, and it was...
Well, she doesn't do that. She goes back to her bedroom. To
she doesn't strip.
No, exactly. She has the privacy of the bedroom.
Oh my God. You know how I was convinced, because they were doing this all, like, next to a fire pit. And I was like, someone is going to take, like, a shirt and throw it to, like, symbolise I'm staying. Nothing. Imagine if she'd have ripped off the headdress and burnt it. I'd have been like, whoa, disrespectful.
Yeah, that's all Sarah's hard work.
Exactly.
That's why it didn't happen.
I know.
Too respectful.
Yeah. Yes. But not respectful enough to say bye to anyone.
Well, they did, though. They did. The ones that leave come back down and they hug everyone and they do this long, drawn-out goodbye.
Yeah.
They did.
I don't know. Just a bit weird.
Next one?
Yes, the next one. Who do you want to go next?
Aaron. Because he was the next one.
Okay, right, okay.
He went to go look at his stuff.
Yeah.
And as he approaches the trunks, James is waving his hearing aids at him.
A heel to the end. And he's like, yeah, I will need that. And it's like, oh, he's leaving.
Then he gets his phone and pops it in his pocket.
Yeah. And then he grabs all of his stuff. And James is like, is that all your stuff? And he's like, I've got 3 pairs of shoes and my hearing aids. I need nothing else.
All of his other stuff was clearly deemed worthy of being Amish.
Yeah. It's almost like he knew what was what.
Well, also, you know, with guys, there's less clothing issues, I suppose.
Yeah.
Unless you go in with bright stuff.
Yeah.
You can't be too risque.
Evidently, I was utterly wrong about the whole, like, look, once you're in, you can just, like, have your phone. Because I was labouring under the misapprehension that once they were in, they were in. This was the decision point. They're Amish now. They didn't let on about this, like, 3-year probationary period before you then do 6 months of Bible study.
Yeah.
Like, I'd have been a bit more like, oh, okay, so, like, it's not really suddenly Amish, is it? It's eventually Amish. Welcome to it. To be fair, eventually Amish doesn't sound quite so exciting.
And, of course, they are suddenly dropped into Amish lifestyle.
Yes.
He did suddenly lose his phone.
He did.
Yeah.
And then he suddenly lost his second phone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wonder if he got both his phones back.
I would have thought so.
Yeah. But he seems to be doing well post.
Well, I was going to do the post for all of them at the end.
Oh, you should have told me that. I had no way of knowing.
Well, we didn't do Esme's, you see.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I was trying to, and then you talked about something else, and I forgot. Your fiendish master plan comes to term.
Okay, well, we could do this because...
Oh?
Well, I just wanted to say that both Esme and Aaron had what I would describe as meaningful careers. They were both teachers in a way. Aaron was a teacher of special needs and Esme is a support for autistic children.
We see nothing about that in her postscript.
No, but they've both clearly gone through higher education to pursue a career, which would add to their load of stuff to give up.
There were two people that I was surprised about which way they went, and Aaron was one of them. I was expecting him to stay.
But I had forgotten that he was a teacher.
Yeah.
And like I said, that means with a career like that, and for him and Esme...
It's a vocation.
Yeah, they've put a lot into that, and that forms part of who they are. So that's huge to give up. That's more than just stuff.
Because they dropped in, like, throughout the episode, you get 2 months ago for each of the participants.
Yeah.
And we see him talking about the school kids and what it would mean to leave, and he's welling up. And so it's like, well, obviously he's not staying then, is he? They kept that one quiet.
But that was before they even went in.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I mean. Like, they didn't show us that, because if you'd seen that, you'd be like, well, this seems very unlikely he's going to stay. Combined with the whole hearing aid issue, this seems like a no-goer.
So, yeah, I mean, they both leave, and Aaron now goes to weekly Amish markets, and that's pretty much his nod to Amish lifestyle.
While wearing his kit and his headphones and whatnot. So it's like, okay, cool. But he says, like, he's adapted to his life. He kind of knew what was what.
Yeah.
He wanted to give it a go, and he's proven to himself that while it wouldn't work, he could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of admire... I respect that from him. Like, I did it, I could have done it, but
I chose not
I chose not to because of these limitations. And I'm like, fair play to you, my dude.
So let's just double back to Esme's final remarks. So she was pleased to have her wardrobe back,
Huzzah.
and she's wearing all the clothes she wore before.
But...
But...
Oh, I was prompting you to tell us what the
Well,
but
she
was.
has permanently retired her lashes.
She's retired them. They're now in a little rocking chair at home, going eat or eat.
But I loved that for her.
Yeah.
Because that was so hard for her to give up, and she's chosen not to pick them up again.
By omission, does that mean she's got fake nails again?
Possibly.
Yeah. Because otherwise they'd have been
She
like,
didn't
no
make
nails.
as big a thing about the nails.
No, it was the eyelashes, wasn't it?
That was the biggest.
So we see her travelling to, like, Paris
Yeah.
and stuff. So, yeah, nothing about... presumably it just goes without saying that she's loving being back at her work. Yeah. It felt a bit light touch from her.
It'd only been 10 weeks, I think. So maybe she doesn't have any clients. If she was working in the private sector, she...
Well, and also we only saw, like, what I presume to be, like, social media footage from her, like, phone footage, whereas Aaron had obviously had the cameras go because we got the proper shots of him.
Well, I mean, they're not going to send a whole crew to Paris.
No, I suppose not.
So, there is that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do Billy Joe.
Yes. She's an Amish girl, now living in an Amish world.
Yep. She's chosen to stay.
In the least shocking news ever.
I was quite surprised, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought I felt like they were really overdoing it because, again, throughout the last few weeks, they've made a real point of everyone having to go, I have no idea. And she, like, her thing has always been like, yeah, it's a bit hot for me. And it's really making me think. Like, I felt like they were over-egging that pudding.
I mean, I did forget her vibrator because when they opened the case,
The
and she
producers
was like,
didn't.
"There's things in there that I use every day," and she gives like a little nod to the camera, like, "Yep, that is what I'm
Yeah,
talking
because
about."
they will walk over. James is like, "There's some temptations in there," and then
Yeah.
it cuts to the giant pink dildo, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that." We're back up onto the highbrow stuff.
But she does. She chooses to stay.
She takes it like a champ.
Yeah.
If you'll pardon the phrasing.
She's like, I don't need it. I'm here
yeah.
now.
I wasn't surprised. Like, she was kind of a lock-in from the beginning, I felt like. But then I thought that about Aaron, so what do I know?
The thing is, everyone's a free agent and they get to choose.
They do.
And the reality is that they are leaving their family. And we see her parents, actually, and they say we're really close, so it will be a loss if she chooses to
But
stay.
they're allowed a phone shanty, so it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Again, Judah was the only one to get a parental visit. Because they were like, they obviously interviewed all of the family and went, we're sending Judah's mum because she will cat amongst the pigeons.
I mean, again, we don't know. Judah's mum could have been harassing the team. Tell me where my son is. I need to see my son.
for all we know, they all had their parents, and it's just all the other ones were duds.
Yeah, there is that.
And they were
well.
like, this woman is so rude to everyone. We're putting her in. Who knows? Because it is only 8 episodes, and they were there for quite a while.
A month.
So there's a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor, I presume.
That's true.
So, but yeah. So Billy Joe stays, and we don't really get much of a postscript from her because she's still there.
Yeah, we get a bit, but it's kind of tied in with Judah's, so we kind of need to do that with Judah.
Well, spoiler alert, Judah also stays.
Yeah.
And I did not call this because...
I did, kind of.
See, I was really cynical because we got the 2 months ago, and it's him in a recording studio recording, and I was like, he's here for the publicity.
Oh,
I was being really cynical because I was like, he's come along to try and raise his profile, then he'll come back into the world and be like, they wouldn't accept me because I'm bi and I'm an artist and
now he's got his hook.
And he's got telly and he's got followers and all of that. I was wrong.
Yeah.
So there you go. Don't listen to me for my opinion. It's worth nothing.
Well, it's fun to laugh at.
Thank you, James.
But seriously, though, he came in search of himself.
Yes.
He was smothered by his mum. He didn't know who he was. And whatever else, the Amish community have allowed him to grow as an individual. You know, in black clothes and stuff. Yeah. But he has been able to find himself, what he enjoys, what he is good at, separate from his biological family.
Well, and that's reflected in what Alan said at the Reckoning, where he's like, he of all the people has grown the most, and I consider him a son, and I really hope that he'll come along this journey with him. And, by the way, the big cliffhanger from last episode is he going to tell them that he's bi? He does, and they basically go, and then we cut.
Yeah, and I think what happened was that James, Sarah and Alan kind of thought, well, we like you as a person, and so we accept you as a person, and then they don't seem to tell anyone else.
It was around that bit where they were in the Reckoning ceremony where the bishop asks Alan if he had any concerns about anyone, and it felt like they really worked hard to butcher it to make it seem like Alan was about to say, well, Judah's bi, and I think that's a problem. And I don't think he said anything.
What they actually ended up saying was, well, with Judah, and then there's like a long pause, and they go, he's like a son to me. Yeah. And that was it. And it's like, oh, that's okay.
That felt like there was never any tension there. They've just hacked it about to make it look like there was.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like, oh, that's a bit clumsy and heavy-handed there, guys.
But that's one of the things I think that James was holding his tongue about. I think James really wanted to say it, but
you think he wanted to go, but he's gay?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be right, because that definitely would not have been allowed. I imagine at James's original community, if they're really fundamentalist about it. What's really interesting was that we see Sarah in the sort of dual talking head with Alan, and she's the one that's talking about, like, well, we just thought about him as a person, and it doesn't really matter about any of the other stuff. He is a good person. And I just thought it was interesting that it was her speaking up in that, so you get the impression that the two of them have sort of talked over it and had a counsel of it, which I thought was nice.
And quite open-minded of them, considering they won't face this in their everyday life.
No, this
is unusual for them, given the community that they live in.
Yeah, fair play to them. Alan and Sarah, MVPs. MVPs.
Okay, that's enough. And so they both stay.
Yep.
And they're both happy that they're staying together. And then in the closing, 10 weeks from now thing, they're talking about getting a house together. Because they're both kind of assimilating into the Amish lifestyle.
I was a bit surprised. I was like, is that allowed?
Well,
I suppose Emma and James live together.
And also, the rules have to be different when the rules are different, right? They're just inviting these muggles in, which is not normally how things go. And so there isn't a precedent or a standard.
I just assumed they'd live with Sarah and Alan in their non-bat infested house.
Yeah, they've
now.
gone back to their own house, haven't they? But just before we leave Judah, he is looking for potentially a different community, like a Mennonite, that can allow him to be more of an individual whilst pursuing an Amish-ish lifestyle.
So he's deciding whether to stay in Lancaster or to move to a more liberal, I think they said, Mennonite community.
Yeah.
So he could, like, pimp up his wagon or whatever.
Yeah.
I love that idea for him. So he can be Amish-esque, but still also be he can be a fly Amish guy.
Yeah, yeah.
He could live in an Amish paradise.
Yep. Okay.
What?
No, it's fine. I feel like you're just word salading.
I was quoting songs.
Yeah, but it doesn't fit. Like,
It
you're
makes
just
me
shoehorning them in.
But that's half the joy, isn't it?
Well, only if they make sense, though.
They do make sense.
They do.
They do to me.
Right, that's different.
Okay.
I was going to end with the Alan and Sarah going back to their own house, but we already did that.
But, well, we also see Emma. We get a brief touch on Emma, and she is no longer interested in helping English muggles come into the community.
Yeah.
She's gone home. She took a ball and went home. She walked straight out the door, walked straight home, and is not coming back.
What ball are you talking about?
Oh, it was a terminology. She took a ball and went home.
I've never heard that before.
Wow. Okay.
What, is that a football thing?
I think it's just a saying.
No, I don't think it is.
Okay, right.
I've never heard this before.
Basically, everyone else in the world will have heard this.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think you made that up.
I did not make it up.
You make up a lot of
I
things.
don't. Oh, God, listeners, you get to see what my life is like.
Have we covered everything?
I think so. Well, Bishop Vernon, it was interesting to see, he ultimately got to decide on James being accepted or not into the community.
Yeah.
And he was very forthright in his no James, no way, no how.
Yeah.
Because he was like, if you would ask me if I would recommend that he was unshunned from his previous community, I'd say no. What he didn't say was, I'm also not letting him into our community.
I'm booting him out of mine.
So James has had to leave. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty brutal.
Well, he didn't say he had to leave, but he has left, so...
You cannot be unshunned. He's like, well, I'll just go then.
To Florida. I made that up. I don't know if he's gone to Florida.
To be fair, I feel like he would fit in Florida.
I just know there's a lot of Amish communities over there, so...
In Florida?
Yeah.
Are there?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Sun, sea, sand. I don't know. There just is.
Okay.
I watched Breaking Amish. And it was
I
on
forget that to be fair, you are more of an expert than me, which is a low bar.
And I watched one other show. I think it was Breaking Amish, and then they did 3 seasons of that, and then they changed the name, but it was all the same people. It was a bit confusing. I can't remember what the new name was either.
Unsuddenly Broken Amish.
No, they hadn't thought of the suddenly thing. No. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Escaping Amish?
Yeah, it might
have been. Was that a different show?
I don't know.
What?
Rumspringer forever.
Rumspringer, get around, Rumspringer.
God.
Hey!
Right,
Sorry.
what are you rating the episode?
I would rate it a fabulous... I'm going to go with 5 rinky-dink scooters out of 7.
5 out of 7?
5 out of 7. I found the clunky editing of the show format. It felt disjointed and a bit hard to get into there because I was always really conscious that it was artificial.
Yeah.
And I felt like we were only seeing a very small, chopped up part of the whole thing. And I know that's always true. Mm-hmm. But
you felt
there's
it.
Generally much better artifice about it. And maybe I've been spoiled with some of the really, truly terrible programs that we've watched, but that are well edited.
Yeah.
So it felt a little bit too obviously manufactured for me.
Okay, so it lost a couple of points.
But I would really hope that this is done well enough to get another season or 2. And hopefully either they bring in a more experienced production crew or editing or whatever, or they just get on their game a bit more. Bit slicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I kind of like the honesty. When comparing it to things that are clearly scripted, even though they're supposed to be reality, I'd rather have this than that. Because they clearly haven't refilmed anything, apart from the odd talking head, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. It was interesting in that. So I found it hard to get... This last episode especially. What about you?
Well, I am forgiving it that, and I'm giving it 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed getting the updates on how everyone's doing now. I love that 2 stayed, actually.
Yeah.
And I wasn't 100% sure all the time that was going to happen. And hopefully they all find peace.
Maybe next time they'll be a bit clearer on how many episodes they're going to be.
Yeah.
That would be good. So, as a whole, the show,
yeah,
the
suddenly
concept,
Amish.
what would you give it out of 10 as a concept?
As a concept, I would give it 8 out of 10.
Okay.
It could be pushed to a 9. I'm less keen on the whole religious side of things, but that's a personal view. But I appreciate the simpler lifestyle and a more societal lifestyle. Like, it's less about the individual and more about the group. And I mean, that's a lot of the culture in places like Japan, but we don't get that in Western civilization, and I think sometimes that can be really helpful for people.
Yeah.
So I think being able to offer that kind of massive switch to see how it feels could be really beneficial for people that would benefit from it.
Yeah. I'd give it like 4 janky edits out of 7 in its current state. I think it has the potential to be right up there if they were less artificial about it, like where they've early on kind of kept a load of stuff from people, and so it's like, oh, I didn't know I wouldn't be allowed to
You
phone
mean where
in
the producers
Amish.
didn't tell them they were going to the Amish?
And where they've plainly gone, right, I need you to be really upset about this, or I need you to be really clear that you're unsure whether you're staying or not, and just the janky edits. Just that if they could sort of either be better at hiding that or just less. So I think there's the potential for it to be much higher, but in its current state, I think 4 out of 7 is still a solid score.
It's still a score where you'd watch it again.
Oh yeah, if they do a second season, I think we'll cover it, and even if we didn't cover it, I'd watch it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It's been a while since there's been a fresh new reality TV show that we've watched and gone, actually, that's really good.
That's really good, yeah.
I looked forward to watching it. It was fun.
I tell you what would be interesting, probably, is following the same people. Like, I love that part, and at the end of any episode series where you get a where are they now
epilogue,
kind of thing.
yeah.
I really like that.
Like with Bake Off.
Yes.
Or the Great British Baking Show, as they say over the pond.
Yeah. I don't know why. I guess it's some sort of closure, like it meant something more than it was, but I like that. And so if in season 2 we could still flip back and see our original 6
Maybe,
and check in with them as well.
Maybe it could be like Judah and BJ come in and mentor the newbies.
Yeah, that would be a good way of doing it. Yeah. What's that thing, with money, where compound interest.
Right. I'm really fascinated to see how you bring this in.
I feel like with certainly the people that have chosen to stay, we kind of compound them into the next group, and then after that they get compounded into the 3rd season. So by season 10 we've got like 50 people or something.
And Judah's finally able to start Bible study, and he's just like, I don't agree
No,
with
finished.
this, and leaves.
He's finished Bible studies, all in.
He's got his own tractor.
By
Not
season
tractor.
10, that's like 10 years away, right?
He's finally learned how to drive a buggy. Not like you'd get it instantly, right, Liv?
Of course.
But yeah, I had a great time, and I've really enjoyed going over it. We don't know what we're going to do next. We might take a week or two's break from the midweek episodes. Who knows?
We will see.
Yeah, whatevs. Yeah, we'll think of something.
And on that note,
that's all, folks. If you've enjoyed what you're listening to, please do take the time to rate and review us on your platform of choice. If you're able to write a written review on that would be amazing. But, whatever, anything is brill. Thanks very much in advance.
and thank you for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Toodles!